Well, hello YouTube. This is my spin on the Harbor Freight 30-inch 5-door mechanics tool cart from U.S. General and Harbor Freight. A little backstory, I bought this cart last year. I bought it used last July. I saw an ad and the guy said I bought it, and it turned out I wasn't going to be able to use it, so he listed it for $180 on Facebook Marketplace, and I thought, well, that's a pretty good deal because I'm not paying sales tax, and it's already assembled. So I called him and went over and looked at it and brought it home. Very first thing I did was I went ahead and bought the extended shelf, and I also put magnets on it so the shelf will stay tight against the cart when I'm wheeling it around. The next thing I did was I painted the top of the box, the lid, if you will, and the interior of the tray. I scuffed it up, and then I primed it, and I shot it with the bed liner that Harbor Freight sells. And I know that Harbor Freight sells kits for the doors, the blackout kits for the door pulls, but I've got lots of spray paint, so I took them off, and I also took the U.S. General badge off, and I shot it black because I thought it looked pretty cool. And then I went ahead and stuck it back on with mounting tape. Actually, it turned out I ended up using hot glue because it worked better. Next mod I did was I went ahead and put the swivels on all four. I bought the Harbor Freight casters, and then I swapped out the wheels so they're all black. I really like the look, so I think it's a pretty contemporary, pretty classic look. Another outside mod that I did was I attached the 18-inch magnet on the bolt. I did a little grinding on it, as you can see right there. I did some grinding to make it fit, so I didn't have to change my bolt wings or anything. And that way I keep my automatic transmission 3/8-inch extension 3 feet long, and then I've got my pry bars out there. Of course, it's got the can shelf, but don't they all these days? On the back side of my cart, a story about my glove holder. I had access at my former job to a sheet metal shear and a brake and a spot welder, so I made that. I thought, well, I'll make it. And my color of my other toolbox was red, so I haven't changed it to blue yet. And then the paper towel holder, also red, and that's strictly a Harbor Freight product. The nut drivers, I had the complete Craftsman set, both metrics and standards, and I liked them, but I didn't have room in my cart, so I thought, well, I'll just hang it on the back. I keep it here in the house, and I don't need to lock it. I locked it for this video, but we'll go ahead and spin it around here and open it up so you guys can see inside. Get my key, and we're opening it. And oops. And there's my lid open on the cart. So, a couple things. First off, I tried a lot of different ways to save some space inside of my box. This is what I found worked the best. I just went ahead and I didn't want to put any holes in it or any rivets in the lid, so I just took several of the Harbor Freight magnets and bolted them back to back. And then I wrapped them with some electrical tape so they wouldn't scratch the paint if I had to move them. And that seemed to work pretty well. So up here on the top, on the left-hand side, I have my gear wrench, standard box and opening wrenches. And on the right, I've got a set of made in the USA Craftsman from 1/4 to 3/4 of an inch. Directly below that, I have kind of a hodgepodge. I've got one Harbor Freight, but then I've got a metric set Craftsman. Made in the USA wrenches, and then on the right I have the Harbor Freight 6-piece metric ratcheting box and open and wrench set. it's actually served me pretty well so far. Okay, on the sides, I've got I bought some Hart screwdrivers. So in the back, I've got a good old-fashioned 3/4 inch Craftsman #3 Phillips. And of course, then I have the Hart set. I really like the handles on them. I've got a Milwaukee demolition set. I won that at a Skills USA convention, actually, at the Milwaukee booth. And then I've got a long Craftsman screwdriver in there. Now, one of the things I did do on these sides is I actually put some drawer liner down in the bottom, and then I put the grommets on it. I saw the grommets on a Dale Lucid video on YouTube, so if you get a chance to look him up. And you know what? I liked it so much because it you know, kind of gives it a little bit of a classy look, and seems to work really well. Okay. On the other side over here, I've got my retrievers. I've got a couple different types. 1/4 inch Craftsman nut driver with the extension on it. I've got a couple of Craftsman stubbies. I've got a Master Mechanic 3/8 inch ratchet, which I had it from another set. I've got the good old fashioned Craftsman. I've got a New Britain Flex Head 3/8 inch ratchet. Big Craftsman 1/2 inch ratchet. Not my go-to in any way, but I've got one. I've got a 1/2 inch breaker bar, and then I accidentally bought a 3/8 breaker bar, and I thought, you know, I may need that at some point. Next thing, I wanted to get as many sockets into the top as I possibly could, so I found a piece of 5/16 plywood, and I cut it to fit down inside. And I know that's the old socket racks, and nobody likes these, but they serve the purpose for me because I can get a lot of sockets in here. And I screwed them down by using some short self-tapping screws. So here I've got metrics. I bought these by accident. It's 12-point metric socket set to Harbor Freight, Pittsburgh Pro, I guess. But you know what? I've never had any problems with them. I haven't used very many of them, but I haven't had any problems with them. And then I've got the 1/2 inch deep chromes. I've got some impact Torx down here. Spark plug sockets and an O2 sensor socket. On this rack right here, I have the Pittsburgh Pro, I believe, 1/2 inch impact sockets, and then I've got some Pittsburgh Pro 3/8 inch impact sockets. Then I've got some Gray Pneumatic metric 3/8 inch swivel impacts. Up here I've got 3/8 1/4 and then 3/8 1/2 inch adapter, and then I've got 3/8 inch universal socket, and then I've got 3/8 inch chrome. Those are mostly Craftsman. And then I've got 1/4 inch deeps, and then 1/4 inch shallows, and then I have 1, 2, 3 square 3/8 inch square ratchets. Move over so I can see. I've got some Pittsburgh Pro hex. I don't know what brand these are. They're Torx, and they seem to work okay for me. And I have some impact Torx. That one's just about got all the kitty out of it. I've got some good old-fashioned Craftsman screwdriver adapter bits. Those are in 3/8. Then I have some impact eTorx sockets. Then 1/4 inch standard, and then some 1/4 inch deep. Then I have my 3/8 inch, and this is a Craftsman set right here. And then I've got an old Craftsman set, chrome universals. And surprisingly, I haven't used them very much, but they're still surviving. Got a 12-point in there. I'm not sure how or why, but it's there. Well, that's good. Got Craftsman set of 3/8 inch impact sockets. Then I've got a set of Craftsman 3/8 inch deep. Craftsman 1/2 inch impact, pinned, and then a universal socket. And I've got a couple of adapters down here for impact. It's hard to see if the lighting's not tremendous. Universal, I've got a ratcheting adapter, and this is actually for my breaker bar. I'm not using it anymore because I've got a bigger tool. And then I've got my 1/2 inch Craftsman standard deeps, okay? Now my ratchets, I was going to hang them, but I didn't really see any way to do it good. So I've got Pittsburgh Pro Flex Head, Craftsman stubby over here. Then I've got a 3/8 inch long handle, and then a 1/2 inch Pittsburgh Pro Flex, and I really like this tool. I haven't used it very much yet, but I really like it. Then I have the old Earthquake. I bought this when they were closing them out and getting rid of them, and so far it's been a great tool for me. A little slow and doesn't have the torque that many of them have, but you know what? It does the job, and that's what matters to me at this point. Okay, upper left-hand drawer. I've got my longer 1/2 and 3/8 inch extensions. I've got a scraper in here. I have all my other 1/2 and 3/8 and 1/4 inch extensions. Here I've got air pressure gauge, tire gauge, feeler gauge, spark plug gappers, Sharpies, precision screwdriver set. Next drawer I've got my inspection flashlight, and this is kind of a neat one. It's magnetic, and it's also extends out, so, and it's flexible, so it's kind of a neat tool. I don't use it very often, but like always, the best thing in the shop when I need it. Utility knife, putty knife, and then in the back, it's hard to see in there, but I've got a plastic vernier caliper and a scale, and I don't use it very often, but I keep it back there to protect it. The tray, this is I bought it at Harbor Freight, and I cut it to fit. I used, because it was like 6 pockets, it wouldn't all fit, but 4 pockets did exactly what I wanted it to do. Next drawer down, I have my Torx screwdriver set. I have a Husky standard set, a metric set of hex keys, and I have a Torx set right over here, which is kind of cute, but sometimes you got to use it. Here I've got some picks. I've got some screwdrivers that obviously wouldn't fit, but the old Craftsmans, and I still have them, and they just keep lasting. I haven't managed to break them or wear them out. So next drawer, this is my plier drawer right here. This is a Pittsburgh Pro rack. I've got some of my battery tools in here and little vice grips, battery terminal spreader. These are just cheap ass. I think they're workforces. They're junk, but you know what? So like I said, they work. I can't see spending money if I don't have to. Vice grips. These are the Doyle Knipex knockoffs, and so far I really like them. Pair of scissors, wire strippers, wire solderless connector tool, snap ring expander, ring if you will, channel locks, and then I've got some long needle nose back there. I've got some long needle nose here and a big pair of channel locks, and of course, like I said, battery tools and pipe cleaner and another battery tool. Next drawer down, I've got my standard stubbies right there. I think those are Craftsman, and then I've got some Pittsburgh Pro metrics. I've got my Craftsman flare nut wrench set. I've got my longer Craftsman in the back. I don't use those very often, but instead of putting them in my other cart, I just leave them in here. I just, kind of like to have them all around. Got some adjustable end wrenches, a 1/4 inch beam style torque wrench, 3/8 inch torque wrench, 1/2 inch. This is a Craftsman torque wrench. And then I have my Cobalt torque wrench, and it's actually been a pretty good, it's 3/8, and it's been pretty good for me. I have filter wrenches, and that pretty well sums up that drawer. Now the wrench holder right here, that's the old spool of wire around a piece of round iron, and seems to work for what I need it for. It doesn't take up very much space. I wouldn't want to store all my wrenches like that, but that works pretty well in that application. In my bottom drawer, first off, I have my serpentine belt tool set up here against the front rail. This is how I store my hammers. Probably have more hammers than I need in this cart, but I couldn't break up the set. The hammer holder, that is a wire shelf that I actually bent on the break I had at my former place of employment. And of course I've got the Harbor Freight 5-piece hammer set, and kind of like hammers are hammers. I have my impact screwdriver set, and then most of my punches and chisels and everything, and I've got some alignment punches down here. Tape measure, my Sears Flute knockoff voltmeter. I've got some trim tools right there, air ratchet, impact. I do use air here. I'm at my house. I've got a Ryobi impact set, 18 volt, but I use air still because I've got it. It works pretty well. So extra latches, and of course got a cheater bar in here. Down underneath, of course, I got a tub of towels. I've got a can of brake cleaner because gosh, you can never have enough. Wooden tote. I made a ton of those. I used to be a shop teacher, and it was kind of a middle school introductory product. And then down here, I've got my magnetic trays. I haven't found a need to put them anywhere else just yet, and that seems to work pretty well for me. So, anyway, that is my spin on the Harbor Freight 30-inch 5-drawer mechanics tool set in blue and matte black. I'd murder the whole thing out, but you know what? I like it. It's a lot better than what I had. I actually I had a Montezuma toolbox and I really liked it, but man, it was heavy and I couldn't move it around, and I sold it, made a good deal, made money on it, and I'm pretty happy about that. So anyway, this is my set. Thank you for watching. If you're still here, like the video.